Lately, I just don't get Kim. She's making me do all these weird things. She forces me to go to parties with her and even pressures me to post on Instagram. I feel like mom is using me for money.
Kim Kardashian has to be one of the worst celebrity parents. Every time I see Northwest, it looks like she belongs in a nightclub.
All of her friends were getting like really girly outfits, and she tried it with me once, and she wore something that like was really girly, and she was like, whoa, wait, this isn't me. Like, I just get that I love like dressing like a little bit more tomboyish. I have pictures of her when we're in first grade, pre-K, where she'd come with like a fake septum ring, and she has her green braids and she has pink braids, and she is homeschooled, and a lot of it is me helping her do a lot of the teachings and the things that we do, but we do a lot of realistic courses, things that she's really into.
Guys, I think my mom's coming. Very tough.
The one area is I do let her express herself, and I do let her do that. I love her for that. And she would do it.
Kim Kardashian has reached that moment where she's looking at North and thinking, yeah, this whole situation needs a reset. Because what's been circling North lately doesn't feel like harmless kid behavior anymore. We're talking piercings, bold grown-up fashion choices, late-night studio sessions, and viral clips that seem to push the line a little further every time. And now the whispers are getting louder. People close to the family are quietly suggesting that Kim may have discovered things in North's room that completely freaked her out. Rumors of substances, needles, and influences no child her age should be anywhere near. Allegedly, that shock is what sparked talk of boarding school and a full environment change. For months, North has been surrounded by conversations about body modifications, edgy aesthetics, and intense online backlash usually reserved for adults. And when you line all of that up with Kim openly admitting how overwhelming it's been to manage North's world, it suddenly clicks why insiders say Kim is ready to hit the emergency button and go into full lockdown mode.
Regardless.
And the reason this story refuses to die is because it taps into a very real kind of panic, the kind that hits when a kid starts growing up, and the entire world is watching it happen in real time. So people are asking what's actually going on behind the scenes and why insiders think Kim might be gearing up for a drastic move. Lately, North has been moving less like a typical 12-year-old and more like someone in their early 20s, and that shift didn't go unnoticed. A clip recently went viral of North rapping about piercings, tattoos, skipping school, and chasing big money, and the internet immediately latched onto it, treating it like a rebellion anthem instead of just a song. The snippet, reportedly titled "Piercing on My Hand," frames the lyrics around missing school and wanting more body modifications, and that alone was enough to send people spiraling. Then another outlet picked up the same clip and pushed the narrative even further, repeating the lyrics, emphasizing that North doesn't attend traditional school, pointing out she's homeschooled, and quietly framing it all as evidence that she's not living anything close to a normal childhood. Now, to be fair, no one is saying a rap lyric is a confession. Kids say wild things in music all the time, but what makes this hit differently is that to a lot of people, it doesn't feel disconnected from real life. It feels like it lines up with what they've already watched unfold in public. And Kim herself has basically admitted she's locked in a non-stop tug-of-war trying to manage North's world. She's openly talked about homeschooling North and structuring her education around real-world courses, budgeting, web design, brand building, fashion programs, studio work. Kim has even described North doing 8-hour music studio sessions at home, producing and writing, with Kim stepping into full teacher mode, checking spelling and grammar in her lyrics. That's the part people keep circling back to. Kim didn't describe a typical childhood schedule. She described what sounds like a mini industry pipeline. So when a scary rumor starts floating around, needles, drugs, Kim allegedly horrified, people don't even pause to ask for proof. They just think, yeah, I can see how this could spiral. And it all gets even more complicated once Kanye enters the picture. Kim has said they're in a better place with co-parenting, and she's hinted that North's growing obsession with music is one of the reasons they've been able to reconnect, adding yet another layer to a situation that already feels like it's on the edge of boiling over.
I think it's important to say you and Ye have really bonded over North's producing. You guys are now in a much better place.
Yeah,
because
and
of that.
I think that, you know, I'm a really empathetic person. I mean, at the end of the day, we're always family. I always look at it that way, no matter what's going on.
But being in a better place doesn't mean they're playing by the same rules, because North's entire vibe lately feels way closer to Ye's world than Kim's. Everything about her online presence looks less like a kid experimenting and more like a calculated rollout. She's been posting studio-related content like an artist building momentum, not a child messing around, and that's exactly what set people off. Then that elementary school dropout title popped up, and the internet completely lost it, with comments instantly screaming that Ye is producing North's entire arc behind the scenes. To a lot of people watching from the outside, it doesn't feel accidental or playful. It feels curated, branded, and way too intentional for someone her age, which only fuels the idea that this situation is slipping further out of Kim's control.
And I've been working on an album and it's called Elementary School Dropout.
And this is exactly where Kim's anxiety suddenly makes sense. When your daughter is bonding with her dad through music, and music comes with older rooms, older energy, adult conversations, and adult access, the fear stops being about grades or school schedules. The real fear becomes who is around your child. So when fans start whispering words like needles and drugs, that kind of rumor spreads fast because people already feel like North is standing way too close to grown spaces for her age. And Kim's actions only add fuel to that concern. She literally showed up supervising North during an Instagram live, and that moment spoke louder than any statement ever could. It was a quiet admission that she doesn't trust the environment to manage itself, and that she feels like she has to be watching every second.
Why are you watching my live?
I don't want to be on camera.
Guys, the goat is here.
Hey guys.
Guess who? Guess who?
You were gonna say?
And it's not just about supervision anymore, it's about controlling the image. North hasn't just been in the spotlight, she's been clapping back at criticism like a full-grown influencer. And Kim has clearly noticed the narrative spinning out of control. She's even addressed the whole idea that she lets North do whatever she wants, basically making it clear, don't get it twisted, North has rules. That's the clean truth people keep skipping over. Kim knows the public thinks North is moving reckless, and she's actively trying to prove she's not letting her daughter run the house. And that's exactly why the boarding school rumor doesn't sound crazy to so many people. Because boarding school isn't just about punishment, it's a parent quietly admitting, I need structure I can't create inside this mansion. There's a reason this kind of rumor sticks to North specifically. The aesthetic and the behavior the internet keeps reacting to looks like a speed run into adulthood: piercings, expensive fashion, flex culture, non-stop studio sessions, celebrity friends, and clapbacks delivered with the confidence of someone twice her age. Even the whole grill conversation has spiraled online, with people throwing around massive dollar figures and acting like a child is shopping the way a rap star does. To viewers watching from the outside, it doesn't feel like childhood, it feels like acceleration, and that's exactly why this story keeps catching fire. And when people see all of that, the worry isn't just about style or attitude, it's about what usually comes packaged with that kind of lifestyle. Older crowds, late nights, substances, pressure, and kids feeling pushed to act tougher than they really are. Kim understands that fear is what turns whispers into headlines, and once that switch flips, the story starts running on its own. Even something light can spiral. North replying to a fan about K-pop and casually shouting out new jeans went viral because it was funny and random, but it also reminded everyone just how plugged in and visible she already is, which only keeps the spotlight burning hotter.
But I look-y forgot. Do I like K-pop? New jeans? Nah, we gotta save new jeans.
But it also exposes the bigger issue people can't ignore. North isn't just online, she's deeply plugged into internet culture. She moves like a kid who's been online long enough to understand fandom wars, memes, inside jokes, and we've got to protect her talk like she's already part of a digital community. And that's not automatically a bad thing. But if you're Kim and your child is that immersed, your mind goes to darker places. You're thinking about what she's seeing, who's sliding into her DMs, and what kind of rabbit holes she could fall into when no one's watching. So even if the needles rumor is exaggerated or blown way out of proportion, the underlying fear that North is being exposed to grown things too early didn't come out of nowhere. Kim has already had North in highly structured programs, including fashion-focused experiences in New York, so the idea of tightening control isn't new. That's why when people say boarding school, it doesn't necessarily mean some cold punishment where North gets shipped off like a scandal. It could mean Kim turning the structure all the way up, a stricter private program, a residential arts academy, a long-term supervised setup designed to limit access and lock routine into place. And if Kim is worried about the wrong influences creeping in, a controlled school environment becomes the cleanest move. Distance from the chaos, distance from the industry crowd, distance from whatever she feels is getting too close for comfort. Add to that the fact that Kim and Kanye's co-parenting has played out loudly, with Kanye making serious accusations in the past, claims people around Kim reportedly dismissed as ridiculous, but once words like that are out there, the damage sticks in public perception. And that lingering tension only makes every rumor feel heavier, louder, and harder to ignore. So let's talk about what really happened with North West's Instagram, because this wasn't some random glitch. Her page vanished less than 3 weeks after launching. 1 minute it was live, the next it was completely unsearchable. Not hidden, not private, gone. Media outlets quickly confirmed it was suddenly unavailable. And let's be real for a second, a 12-year-old doesn't just wake up and casually delete her entire account like that. So almost instantly, everyone came to the same conclusion. Kim stepped in and shut it down. And honestly, the timing was way too perfect to ignore. Just days earlier, Kim had jumped into North's Instagram Live and cut it off in real time, and that moment alone sent a clear message: the monitoring has officially begun. Now yes, the page eventually came back as a backup, but that doesn't erase what we all saw. That disappearance felt less like an accident and more like a controlled reset, a trial run, and a very public reminder of who's actually calling the shots. Especially now, with North pulling massive attention online and Kanye back in the headlines trying to rehab his image, this whole situation feels calculated, strategic, and anything but accidental.
And also tell her, don't have my daughter wearing lipstick on TikTok, or don't have her on TikTok at all if I'm not approve that. And I said it after it was done without me knowing, and then it happened again.
North is only 12, and that's the part nobody can get over. Not because she's creative or expressive, that's totally fine, but because everything around her screams way too adult, and the world just accepted it way too fast. She's rapping about finger piercings, tattoos, throwing around money in her lyrics like she's been living online for a decade. She's clapping back at critics with the confidence of someone twice her age, dropping music alongside her dad like it's just another casual project. It's wild, it's flashy, and honestly, it makes you wonder how normal any of this really is.
Or like, oh, this blue hair, all of this, all of a sudden, or like her fake piercings that she puts up, or her, you know.
Way more people were saying the exact opposite on repeat. This just doesn't feel right. Parents flooded the comments comparing their own 12-year-olds, kids still needing help with homework, still making bracelets, still acting like actual kids, and they were genuinely baffled, trying to wrap their heads around how North could possibly be the same age. That stark disconnect, that's what really set the internet off. Now reports say Kim is suddenly stepping in and laying down rules. She thinks North has been acting way too grown, and once the backlash started piling up, Instagram was suddenly deemed not safe for her. Sources claim that some of the posts, the grills, the ice blue hair, the flashy looks, made Kim pause and rethink the whole thing. Suddenly, the narrative became that she's being ultra hands-on, fiercely protective, and above all, aware that North is only 12. She doesn't want her facing all the pressure, the comments, the noise of the social world just yet. Yes, the Instagram account did come back, but let's not kid ourselves about who pulled the plug in the first place. This wasn't North taking a reflective break, this was a parent hitting the off switch. And here's the kicker, the minimum age for Instagram is 13, North is 12. So, what exactly are we even doing here? Plus, this wasn't some secret page she made behind anyone's back. Her bio literally says account managed by parents, meaning adults were involved from day one. And honestly, most people already assumed it was Kim running the show. One comment put it bluntly, her account won't be managed by Ye since he is against her being on social, so only Kim. Makes sense, right? The second the page went live, the numbers exploded. Her very first post pulled in 2.8 million views, proof that this was far from casual. And yes, the backlash was savage. One comment even said, anyone following North who is a 12-year-old is a weirdo and a creep. It didn't look like a kid just hopping online to see what happens, it looked orchestrated. Honestly, a lot of this didn't shock anyone. People keep saying the same thing when you raise a kid like your bestie instead of your child. This is exactly what happens.
So I think like the one misconception that people might have is like, oh, she's trying to be her bestie and lets her get away with a lot. Like, no, Northie actually has a lot of rules.
And that brings us to the most recent Instagram Live, because maybe, just maybe, Kim finally saw how out of control things were getting and decided to step in. North was live just doing her thing when out of nowhere Kim appears on camera and shuts it down. No heads up, no warning, she just jumps in and cuts the moment short. 1 second, North is in her world. The next, the control is snapped back, loud and clear. This is not your space, not yet.
You want to tell them what you did today? And how you have to go to bed now?
Oh, I have to go to bed now. Alright.
And for a split second, people were like, okay, maybe she's finally seeing the damage and trying to fix it. But then here's where it gets messy again. While Kim is insisting North is too young for Instagram, too young for all this pressure, she also revealed that North is done with regular school. Yes, you heard that right. No ordinary classroom, no standard schedule. North is now being homeschooled, but not in some quiet, she needs a calm environment way. This is a fully customized setup built around brand building, music, fashion, and hands-on creative projects. Her schedule is completely flexible so she can focus on her passions, yes, including rapping, turning her education into another stage for her very public, very curated life.
Is homeschooled, and a lot of it is me helping her do a lot of the teachings and the things that we do, but we do a lot of realistic courses, things that she's really into. Math, we'll give budgets and we'll go around and we'll get stuff and we'll add it all up and subtract it all, and she has a brand building class.
And that's when people really started scratching their heads. Because now the question everyone can't ignore, where is Kanye in all of this? He's been vocal about this for a while. He's worried his kids are being exploited. He said he doesn't even want North online. And yet when you look at what's actually happening, everything feels very Kim-led, which might explain why reports are now saying Kim has been considering going for full custody. Not just to possibly drop the West last name and switch the kids to Kardashian, which already had eyebrows raised, but to have full control over their lives and the decisions being made for them. Sources say Kim feels like she's been raising North St. Chicago and Psalm mostly on her own since the divorce, even though the joint custody agreement was officially set back in 2022. And insiders claim that in reality, that arrangement hasn't exactly panned out as planned.
According to the neighborhood talk quoted by The Sun, they stated, neither of them want to seem like the loser in this divorce, and they will both fight hard for their kids. Kim has made it clear she wants full custody, so if Kanye tries to fight her on that, the custody battle will be brutal, the source said.
And here's where it gets even more complicated. Kanye has also recently come forward, apologizing for the anti-Semitic comments he's made over the years. We all remember the posts, the praise, the fallout, the chaos he left in his wake. Now he claims a lot of it stemmed from injuries in his car accident and being in a really dark mental space.